You're listening to the CyberWire Network, powered by N2K.
The IT world used to be simpler. You only had to secure and manage environments that you controlled. Then came new technologies and new ways to work. Now, employees, apps, and networks are everywhere. This means poor visibility, security gaps, and added risk. That's why Cloudflare created the first-ever connectivity cloud. Visit cloudflare.com to protect your business everywhere you do business. Okta warns of a credential stuffing spike. A congressman looks to the EPA to protect water systems from cyber threats. CISA unveils security guidelines for critical infrastructure. Researchers discover a stealthy botnet-as-a-service coming from China. The UK prohibits easy IoT passwords. New vulnerabilities are found in Intel processors. A global bank CEO shares insights on cybersecurity. Users report mandatory Apple ID resets. A preview of N2K CyberWire activity at RSA Conference. And police in Japan find a clever way to combat gift card fraud. It's Monday, April 29th, 2024. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your CyberWire Intel Briefing. Identity and access management company Okta warns of what they're describing as an unprecedented surge in credential stuffing attacks, where attackers use stolen usernames and passwords from previous breaches to access online services. These attacks often involve anonymizing proxies like Tor and residential proxies, including NSOCs, Luminati, and Data Impulse, automated through scripting tools. Okta's observations align with recent findings by Duo Security and Cisco Talos on similar tactics used in brute force attacks. A significant percentage of identity-based incidents investigated by Expel in 2023 also involved malicious logins from such infrastructure. Okta advises customers to use Okta Identity Engine and enable Threat Insight in log and enforce mode to block requests from these proxies before authentication, enhancing security against these attacks. Upgrading to Okta Identity Engine is recommended as it's free and includes additional features like CAPTCHA for risky sign-ins and passwordless authentication via Okta FastPass. U.S. Representative Rick Crawford, a Republican from Arkansas, has introduced a bill aiming to establish a water risk and resilience organization under the EPA. This body would develop risk and resilience requirements for water systems to safeguard against cybersecurity threats. The proposed regulations would help drinking water and wastewater systems enhance their resilience to cyber disruptions, including attacks aimed at compromising service delivery. The bill, co-introduced with Representative John Duarte, comes in response to growing concerns about the vulnerability of U.S. water systems to cyber attacks, highlighted by recent incidents linked to foreign adversaries like Iran and China. Crawford emphasized the need for robust cybersecurity practices to protect critical water infrastructure and prepare operators at all levels to handle potential threats. The bill is currently under review by 2 House committees. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency released new safety and security guidelines for critical infrastructure, following the Department of Homeland Security's recent focus on the same area. These guidelines are in response to the Biden administration's executive order on artificial intelligence from October and aim to harness AI's potential while mitigating its risks across 16 sectors, including farming and IT. CISA's guidelines encourage owners and operators to use the National Institute of Standards and Technology's AI Risk Management Framework to govern, map, measure, and manage AI usage. They emphasize understanding AI dependencies, inventorying AI use cases, reporting security risks, and regularly testing AI systems for vulnerabilities. The move is part of broader efforts to prepare for and mitigate AI-related threats in U.S. critical infrastructure. A comprehensive botnet-as-a-service network originating from China has been identified by researchers at EP Cyber. It features multiple domains, over 20 active Telegram groups, and uses domestic communication channels. This infrastructure supports a botnet capable of launching coordinated attacks, including DDoS strikes that can incapacitate systems despite advanced DDoS protections from services like Cloudflare. The botnet's efficacy in bypassing current defenses poses significant threats. Particularly at risk are European companies, as attackers target their domain names, potentially redirecting users to harmful sites. This highlights vulnerabilities in the domain name system, underscoring the urgent need for robust DNS security to protect online operations and maintain customer trust. The UK has become the first nation to prohibit default, easily guessable passwords on IoT devices, addressing a key vulnerability that had previously enabled large-scale cyber attacks, such as the Mirai botnet. This legislative move, under the Product Security and Telecommunications Infrastructure Act of 2022, mandates unique default passwords and introduces minimum security standards for manufacturers. Companies must now disclose how long their products will be supported with security updates and provide contact details for reporting vulnerabilities. Non-compliance could result in fines up to £10 million or 4% of global revenue. The Office for Product Safety and Standards will oversee these regulations, ensuring manufacturers adhere to the new law aimed at safeguarding consumer data and devices from cyber threats. Similar initiatives are under consideration in other regions, including the EU, although no equivalent federal law exists in the U.S. Researchers from multiple universities, including UC San Diego and Purdue, along with industry partners such as Google, have discovered two new types of cyber attacks targeting the conditional branch predictor in Intel processors. These attacks, detailed in their upcoming presentation at the 2024 ACM ASPLOS conference, exploit the Path History Register, a feature that tracks the order and addresses of branches, revealing more precise information than previous methods. The attacks allow for an unprecedented level of control and data extraction from affected processors, posing potential risks to billions of devices. These findings have prompted Intel and AMD to issue security advisories. The research showcases the ability to manipulate processor behaviors, potentially exposing confidential data through sophisticated techniques that outpace existing security measures. The Record from Recorded Future has published a conversation with Bill Winters, CEO of Standard Chartered, one of the largest banks in the world. Winters highlights the growing importance of cybersecurity in the bank's operations, stressing that it has become a key focus in board meetings and overall company culture. As cyber threats evolve, the bank has prioritized significant investments in cybersecurity, from employee training to enhancing its technological defenses. Winters points out the integration of AI in handling large volumes of transaction data for compliance purposes, improving the bank's ability to detect and respond to potential illicit activities. Standard Chartered has also adopted cautiously to advancements like generative AI, focusing on maintaining strict data privacy and cybersecurity protocols. The bank is particularly attentive to sanctions compliance, especially in light of recent geopolitical conflicts, which have heightened the complexity of managing international transactions. On the topic of cryptocurrency, Winters describes Standard Chartered's cautious but innovative approach, including investments in secure crypto custody and trading services, emphasizing the importance of maintaining high cybersecurity standards in these ventures. He also underlines the potential of digital asset tokenization to transform financial markets by reducing costs and removing intermediaries. Overall, Winters asserts that cybersecurity discussions at board meetings reflect both the bank's and regulators' prioritization of managing cyber risks, considering them crucial for maintaining the integrity and trustworthiness of banking operations. The bank continues to invest heavily in cybersecurity, anticipating more sophisticated threats and emphasizing the importance of robust defenses and compliance systems to safeguard against potential financial and operational disruptions. Reports came in last Friday of a widespread Apple ID outage affecting numerous users who report being unexpectedly logged out of their Apple IDs across multiple devices and forced to reset their passwords to regain access. Despite Apple's system status page showing no issues, social media and direct reports indicate significant disruptions. The cause of these forced logouts and password resets remains unclear, and it's unknown if this incident is connected to ongoing password reset attack issues previously tracked. Users with stolen device protection face additional challenges if logged out away from a trusted location. Furthermore, resetting the Apple ID password also resets any app-specific passwords set up through iCloud. Meanwhile, in other Apple security news, Apple's XProtect has made significant strides in combating malware, notably with its recent update targeting AdLoad, a pervasive adware that's troubled macOS users since 2017. Initially introduced in 2009 with macOS 10 Snow Leopard, XProtect started as a basic alert system for malware and installation files. It's since evolved into a robust anti-malware suite following the retirement of the malware removal tool in April of 2022. XProtect now consists of three components: the XProtect app, XProtect Remediator, and XProtect Behavior Services, utilizing minimal CPU impact. It employs YARA rules for dynamic malware detection, a method that allows for customized rule creation. Despite Apple's use of obfuscated malware names that complicate identification, resources like Phil Stokes' GitHub repository provide clarity by mapping these names to more commonly recognized industry terms. A quick program note: over the weekend, we dropped a special edition podcast into your CyberWire feed. This features David Moulton and Andy Piazza, Senior Director of Threat Intelligence at Unit 42, diving into the critical vulnerability found in PAN-OS software of Palo Alto Networks, emphasizing the importance of immediate patching and mitigation strategies for these sorts of vulnerabilities, especially when they affect edge devices like firewalls or VPNs. Do check it out. Coming up after the break, my N2K CyberWire colleagues Rick Howard and Brandon Karpf join me to discuss the goings-on of our team at RSA Conference. Stay with us.
Managing the requirements for modern security programs is increasingly challenging and time-consuming. Enter Vanta. Vanta gives you one place to centralize and scale your security program. Quickly assess risk, streamline security reviews, and automate compliance for ISO 27001, SOC 2, and more. You can leverage Vanta's market-leading trust management platform to unify risk management and secure the trust of your customers. Plus, use Vanta AI to save time when completing security questionnaires. CyberWire Daily listeners can get $1,000 off by going to vanta.com/cyber. That's VANTA.com/cyber.
In the dynamic world of enterprise security, identity architects and IT leaders face a major challenge. Growth by repeated acquisitions multiplies the complexity of everything. Multiple IDPs, MFA providers, policy engines that all need to coexist. This can lead to fragmented user identities and policies that create security vulnerabilities and add access friction. Strata Identity solves this. Now you can decommission unneeded IDPs and consolidate the ones you'd like to keep without rewriting apps or disrupting users, engineers, and app owners. Plus, Strata's modular architecture makes it easy to integrate with any identity provider without manual maintenance and coding. Join the ranks of cybersecurity leaders using identity orchestration. Visit strata.io/cyberwire, share your top identity security priorities, and receive a pair of complimentary AirPods Pro. Offer valid for organizations with over 5,000 employees. Step into a new era of identity management at strata.io/cyberwire. It is always my pleasure to welcome back to the show N2K CyberWire's Chief Security Officer, also our Chief Analyst, Rick Howard. Rick, welcome back.
Hey, Dave. It's good to see you.
And also joining us is one of our executive producers here, Brandon Karpf. Brandon, glad to have you with us.
Hey, Dave. Thank you for having me back.
So we are at that moment that comes but once a year, and it is right standing on the precipice of RSA Conference 2024, looking over the edge and about to hold hands and jump off. Right, together.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is. And so I thought it would be useful for us and for our listeners as well to go through some of the special events that we've got planned at RSA Conference 2024 this year. Quite a number of things that we're participating in that folks might be interested in. Rick, why don't I start off with you? Our listeners know that you have been active for years with the cybersecurity canon, and you've got an event related to that?
Yeah, the Canon has gotten organized in the last couple of years, and we've made a partnership deal with the RSA bookstore. So we got a couple of things going on there. Mainly that some of the committee members will be outside the bookstore Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right. If you're looking for your next great cybersecurity read, the bookstore has put in a shelf of Canon Hall of Fame books. And if you're still not sure by looking at the titles, the concierge there, one of the committee members, will advise you on what you should be picking up to read. And I'm going to be there, and a couple of other committee members are going to be there. So I would love to meet you all. So come on by.
The thing that I love about Rick and the Canon is they took what was already an incredibly nerdy conference and just made it even nerdier.
You're welcome.
Now, my understanding, Rick, you're not going to be flying solo there. There'll be some other folks from our team who'll be on site.
Yeah, Brandon's going to come along, and after we're done doing some of that stuff, I should also mention, okay, that we published a book last year, Cybersecurity First Principles, and I'll be doing a book signing outside that very same bookstore. And then Brandon and Simone, our big boss, will be around to help customers talk about. Brandon, what are you guys doing there?
Yeah, well, we wanted to highlight part of the Cybersecurity First Principles book, which was that the lost chapter, or the chapter we didn't write about cyber talent and development. We just did this great special edition mini-series through the CyberWire Daily about cyber talent insights. So Simone, our president, and Jeff, our chief learning officer, is going to tag along with you at your book signing at the RSA bookstore. Anyone who wants to chat about cyber talent insights, talent development, they will be on site next to Rick, making Rick look prettier in order to
we all
chat
know
with
that's
everyone.
not possible. Well, you're talking about the lost chapter. We had this great insight, a month after we published the book and a month after the last conference. We're calling it Moneyball for Workforce Development, and Simone and I are presenting on that topic on Thursday. So, if you're not sick enough of she and I talking about it, you should come hear that presentation. We have some new ideas about that. And by the way, I think there's some really fantastic ideas in there. So come on down.
Rick, you are also taking part in a panel from another company. I believe CyberWire is sponsoring a panel.
Yeah, CyberWire, I love them. I'm an advisor to CyberWire, so buyer beware. But you all know that I've been involved in information sharing, since almost the beginnings back in 1999. And the whole process has really kind of been stuck in the way we've done it back then. We're still sharing indicators of compromise with spreadsheets and email. Finally, some companies are coming along that helps automate that process. CyberWire is one of them. All right, and they're doing a whole panel on first principles on what the SOC might look like in the future. All right, so we're going to give away copies of my book there, right? And so if you're looking to get out from the main stuff going on at the RSA conference, come on by and see us.
Brandon, there's also opportunities if folks want to just come by and say hi, maybe get a CyberWire sticker or something like that. Where can they find our team?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to be there on the ground doing all of that great fan engagement and audience engagement. So
I'll be there with you, Brandon. All right, come on.
I'm friendly. I don't bite. When you see the oddly Hobbit-looking gentleman walking around wearing a CyberWire T-shirt, please stop me. Say hello. I will have stickers. I will have potentially some coins and some other swag. So swing by. Grab those for me. We'll also be we've got a media room in the Marriott Marquis Foothills, which is that first floor right inside the Marriott. And then we are also, we're thrilled that we get to engage with Night Dragon all day Tuesday. They're running their Innovation Summit. So you'll see the CyberWire team there. N2K CyberWire will be on site recording and engaging with the audience there as well.
Well, not to mix nerd properties, Brendan, but I'll be the Hogar-like figure standing next to you, okay?
That's quite a sight to see, folks, let me tell you. Oh, my. So we will have the details about all of these events, the times, the locations, all that good stuff here in the show notes. Rick, I have to say it's kind of, I'm a little sad for you that you're going to be doing your book signing outside of the bookstore. The real authors get to do it inside of the bookstore. But I guess it's good. At least this year they let you in the building.
I like the way you said that, the real authors. Okay. Yeah, I have a special corner outside the bookstore. Mm-hmm. They kind of have a sign that points that way.
Right.
So have some pity on me, everybody.
Speak to this man at your own peril. All right, Rick Howard is N2K CyberWire's Chief Security Officer, also our Chief Analyst, and Brandon Karpf is our Executive Producer. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Don't struggle to align your organization's cybersecurity with business risk. Get the only solution that goes beyond reacting to threats with vulnerability and risk monitoring. You need the next evolution of MDR, and only Critical Start delivers it. Critical Start doesn't just monitor and respond to threats. They put you in control by detecting suspicious activities, quickly responding to contain threats, and identifying your most critical assets and protecting them against vulnerabilities and exposures. With continuous visibility, expert guidance, and measurable risk reduction, Critical Start has redefined what it means to manage cyber risk. Demonstrate provable security maturity to your leadership while positioning your program to achieve the greatest risk reduction per dollar spent. Stop fearing risk and start managing it with Critical Start. Visit criticalstart.com and request a demo today. That's criticalstart.com. Hey everybody, today I want to highlight a name that all of us know well, and that is our sponsor, Splunk. You need to keep operations humming around the clock, but potential disruptions are everywhere. Splunk helps you predict problems and find and fix issues fast so you can reduce risk and ditch downtime. The world's largest enterprises rely on Splunk's unified security and observability platform to become more efficient, resilient, and innovative. With Splunk, you can react quickly, evolve faster, and be ready for anything. Stay ahead of disruptions. Learn more at splunk.com/resilience. And we thank Splunk for sponsoring our show. And finally, Japanese police in Fukui Prefecture have implemented a novel strategy to combat tech support scams targeting the elderly by placing fake payment cards in convenience stores. These cards, labeled Virus Trojan Horse Removal Payment Card and Unpaid Bill Late Fee Payment Card, serve as an alert mechanism. When elderly customers, directed by fraudsters, attempt to purchase these cards, store employees intervene to inform them of the scams. This initiative, tested in 34 local stores, has proven effective, helping at least 2 elderly men realize they were being scammed. The police also reward employees who assist in preventing these scams, aiding further in scam identification and investigation. This approach not only prevents financial loss, which amounted to $7.5 million in the region last year, but also educates potential victims about such scams. Here in the States, we need to stock the shelves with cards that read, "The errand your boss sent you on while they were in an important meeting and unavailable to chat" card. And that's the CyberWire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. Don't forget to check out the Grumpy Old Geeks podcast, where I contribute to a regular segment on Jason and Brian's show every week. You can find Grumpy Old Geeks where all the fine podcasts are listed. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. You can email us at cyberwire@n2k.com. N2K Strategic Workforce Intelligence optimizes the value of your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your team while making your team smarter. Learn more at n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. Our mixer is Trey Hester, with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producers are Jennifer Iben and Brandon Karp. Our executive editor is Peter Kilpie, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow. And now a word from our sponsor, Netskope. Netskope is a worldwide leader in SASE and Zero Trust. Its unified platform, Netskope One, provides optimized access and Zero Trust security for people, devices, and data anywhere they go, helping customers reduce risk, accelerate performance, and get unrivaled visibility into any cloud, web, and private application activity. To learn more about how Netskope helps customers be ready for anything on their SASE journey, visit netskope.com.